If you've ever felt like your dream doesn't quite fit in a box, or like you know you're meant for more, but you have no idea where to begin, that was me. And honestly, this is for you, because I've lived that feeling. It didn't start with some master plan. It started with one tiny step toward what lit me up. You always hear people say, follow your passion, right? Like it's this clear, simple thing, but it's not, especially when your passion doesn't stay in one lane, or when you have more than one, or when you want to be everything all at once. No one hands you a roadmap for that, but over time, you figure out how to use your passion like a compass. I'm Allison Hagendorf. I'm a music journalist, the former head of rock at Spotify, and some people call me the rock star whisperer. I've interviewed hundreds of artists, from Ringo Starr and Miley Cyrus to the Foo Fighters and Drake, but my real story didn't start backstage. It didn't start with connections. It started simply because I was the ultimate music fan, and I found a way to turn that passion into my real life. Now I'm here sharing the real behind-the-scenes path of how it all happened and how you can build your path too. If you're figuring out your own next chapter or building a dream from scratch, you are in the right place. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. This is a community for people who want to live what they love. I grew up in a town called Rockland County, New York. We used to call it Rockland. I mean, you can't make that up. It's like music was my destiny all along, right? It wasn't Manhattan where my mom grew up, or Coney Island where my dad was raised. It was the suburbs just north. It was close enough to feel the city, but far enough that you still had to dream about it. My mom was a teacher, my dad worked on Wall Street, two different kinds of ambition under one roof, and I had two older sisters. At home, music was always around. My parents raised me on oldies and Motown, and my sisters introduced me to all the 80s and early 90s masterpieces. I can picture Saturday mornings, my dad making pancakes while my mom and I would dance to the Shirelles. She showed me how to dance to the old songs like The Monkey, The Hitchhiker, The Shimmy. Music wasn't just background, it was how we connected. It was joy, it was home. In third grade, you got to pick your instrument. When it was my turn, I was so excited to shout, the drums. My mom had also introduced me to Karen Carpenter of the Carpenters, who had gotten her start as a drummer, and I just thought that was so cool. But the teacher shut it down. He goes, girls don't play drums.
Yeah, fucking right.
He handed me a clarinet, and clearly this chip on my shoulder, because I'm still talking about it now, so upsetting. So I leaned in even harder into my dance classes. One morning, my mom put on an old rerun of American Bandstand, and there was Dick Clark interviewing the artist, hyping the crowd, making the music feel electric. He was the conduit, the connection. I was like 6 years old, and I remember turning to my mom and saying, I want to be Dick Clark. Not a princess, not a pop star. I wanted to be that guy. He was the one who brought everyone together through sound and soul. He was the connector, the spark, and I truly meant it. Pretty soon after, my mom asked me if I wanted to enter the Little Miss Clarkstown contest. It wasn't a pageant. It was more of like a hometown talent show.
My name is Allison Hagendorf, and I'm in third grade.
I wrote my own intro. It said, even though I'm a child of the 80s, I still love the music and the dances of the 50s and 60s. Then I launched into the Beatles' Twist and Shout. I twisted, I monkeyed, I shimmied, I hitchhiked, and I won. Standing there holding that Little Miss Clarkstown trophy, I felt it. That jolt of pride, of possibility, of proof that maybe I could be something bigger. Passion mattered, drive mattered, effort mattered. As I got older, I kept dancing. Every kind of class you could take. Jazz, hip hop, funk, tap, ballet. But something else pulled at me too. Science. I loved animals. I was on an academic path to be a veterinarian or maybe even a doctor. But still, music never really let go. It was in every late night study session, every mixtape I poured my soul into, every school dance and car ride. It just was always there, waiting. And then...
And I'm on my way to bat mitzvah, Suzanne Rosenberg's. And my hair looks like good, so her videotaping it.
The DJ was playing all the usual stuff. Boyz II Men, Janet Jackson, En Vogue, songs I loved, and I had full dance routines choreographed to. And then the sound came on. I had never heard or felt anything like it. It just had this infectious riff, the drums that shook the walls, and this voice, this raw, guttural voice, like it had clawed its way out of something deep and dark. And before I knew it, I was in the middle of the crowd, slamming my body into other kids. I was moshing, even though I didn't even know what moshing was. But there I was gone. Not dancing, just letting go, completely losing myself in this moment. I ran to the DJ booth, like completely out of breath. Like, what is this? He was laughing, I remember. He goes, it's this new band called Nirvana, and the song's called Smells Like Teen Spirit. And just like that, I was changed. The next morning, I begged my parents to take me to Tower Records. I stayed there all day, sitting on the floor, studying Spin magazine, standing at the listening stations with giant foam headphones like pressed to my ears, just soaking in Seattle, trying to understand what had just woken up inside me. I can still remember that smell of like the plastic CD wrapping and the feeling of that buzz of discovery. It wasn't just music. It was like a secret code. It was a call to arms, a compass. And I knew right then I wasn't going back. Music wasn't just something I loved, it was calling me. But still, I loved science. I went to Penn State on an academic scholarship studying pre-vet and pre-med. But every summer, I found a way back to music. Unpaid internships, long bus rides into Manhattan, stockpiling CDs in windowless storage rooms, just doing whatever it took to be close to the music, to feel the music. Eventually, I got connected with Nina Webb, the head of the college marketing department at Sony. There wasn't a job on the table, no promises, but we sat across from each other and something clicked. It was that unspoken energy, passion, drive, that moment where you just know we see each other. We get it. You're my people. A few months later, she called. Sony needed a college rep at Penn State. I said yes before she even finished the sentence, and that is when I learned something big. It is not about chasing titles or checking boxes. It's about connection, not transaction. I threw myself into that job, hanging posters, throwing listening parties, organizing fraternity house blowouts, dragging people to shows, doing whatever it took to get them to feel what I felt. All while studying organic chemistry and cramming for the MCATs, still wondering if I was meant to be a doctor. And then I got the call. I had won Sony College Rep of the Year, and with it, a full-time job offer. Columbia Records, a real job, a real crossroads. I had to make a decision. And I remember thinking, med school will always be there, but this might not be. Plus, Matt Pinfield worked at Columbia Records, my hero, the MTV VJ from 120 Minutes, the one artists trusted, the one who spoke their language. He made it feel cool to love music with all of your being, like that was enough. To me, he was my new Dick Clark, my North Star. I took the assistant job in the jazz department and made it my mission to meet him, to be seen, to prove I wasn't just a fan, I was a future colleague. It took months of nudging HR, drafting proposals, working every angle I could, but it worked. I became Matt Pinfield's assistant, the kid from Rockland who wanted to be Dick Clark, the girl who camped out at Tower Records, stockpiled CDs, and commuted and hustled and dreamed, was now working side by side with her musical hero. I was in, and I made it happen. That's where my real story in the music business begins. Here's what I learned early on. Passion is the fuel, but it is not enough on its own. You still have to build the car, pave the road, and drive every single mile yourself. And along the way, the real magic is in connecting with people. That's what makes the difference. What helped me most was moving forward anyway, even without a plan, even without certainty. I stepped away from the safety net and into the unknown because even if I didn't have it all figured out, I had passion, I had a calling, a compass. It It's not just about showing up. It's about finding the people who really see you and seeing them too. And sometimes the biggest doors you walk through are the ones you kick open yourself. So if you're standing at your own crossroads right now, pick one thing that lights you up, even just a little, and take one small step toward it this week. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be loud, just real. That's how momentum builds. That's how clarity shows up, and that's how passion becomes purpose. If you want, drop your one thing in the comments or just say hi. I would love to hear from you. And if you haven't yet, please hit subscribe. We are building something really special here, and I'd love for you to be part of it. Stay tuned for more stories, takeaways, and the real life lessons behind chasing your dream and living what you love. Until next time, let kindness be your superpower.